Welcome to Growing Up Boomer. I'm your host, Padre, with my co-host, Professor. And this podcast is dedicated to the life and times of the baby boomer generation. The show is loosely scripted, and sometimes we'll go down rabbit holes, and where it leads us to, one will never know. This podcast can be informative, funny, and sometimes irreverent. But most of all, we hope you find it entertaining. Hey, Professor, how's it going?
I'm good, Padre. How about you?
Oh, man, I cannot complain.
Okay. All right, then don't.
But we talked about this before, I'm going to be celebrating my 50th wedding anniversary.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and one thing that you have to learn, okay, is when you have been married this long, is the wife is always right.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, come on.
I think maybe I would say often right.
No,
The wife isn't
no.
right.
No, always right.
No, not in my household. Not always right.
Well,
Maybe once a year. Maybe once a year she's not.
Let me put it this way. Okay, you ready for this?
Okay.
All right. If a husband says something in the forest and no one's around to hear it, is he still wrong?
Absolutely.
Okay, there you go. Okay, I rest my case.
But if a husband says something right, is he
He's
right?
still wrong.
Okay, whatever. Okay.
He's still wrong.
I get your sentiment. I understand that. Yes, I get that. Yeah. If you put it this way, it's yes, dear, which is just saying the same thing. Yes, dear. Yes, dear. You're right, dear. Yes, dear. I agree, dear. Yes, dear. I get that. No, I get that. So I get that. Yeah. Yep. But every once in a while, I'm right. Just so you know. At least I think I am.
Yeah. Well, see, there you go. Okay.
That's the difference.
Hey, you know what? We have some stuff to cover.
We do.
But this podcast. But you know what? This subject is how we lived our lives, as kids, right? Before high technology, right? I mean,
Yep.
I mean, what did we do? I mean, how in the world did we live before all of this stuff that we had?
Well, I was happy because I think once or twice, I think after the first time, maybe not the second time, when I said, Mom, I'm bored, and she gave me a job to do, I was never bored again. I always found things to do, but I always played. Okay, I was very big into models. Okay, doing models, airplanes and boats and stuff like that. I got into the human body. I don't know if you remember that. Okay, I would know everything. You pick me an organ, I'd tell you exactly where it is, tell you about it and stuff like that. I would whittle. I do whittling. Okay, these are just things I do on my own. Okay, never mind outdoors with friends and doing all the other stuff. But there were no phones. Okay, there was one phone in the house. Okay, maybe two. Okay, and no computers, nothing like that. So those are pre-tech days, and they were way simpler days.
And all you did was just try to figure out what to do so you wouldn't have to do chores.
Whatever it took. Whatever it took. Yeah. Because if you're talking about chores, and doing chores, because you're right. A lot of kids had a lot of things to do, and they had to do them because nobody else was going to do them.
I like the thing you talked about models, and that sounds so much like you.
Okay.
I mean, the human body, and I remember those models where they would have it'd be like cut in half, and you'd be able to see all the organs and
able to take off the front. Yeah.
Now, knowing me, guess what kind of models I love?
Cars.
That was one. You're right. I did cars.
Well, I don't remember baseball models, so it couldn't have been that.
No.
Tell me.
But it was the monster models. Remember, like the Wolfman, Frankenstein, Dracula, the creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah.
As much as I love movies, I was watching those.
Yeah, I believe it. Yep, I do.
And I did like World War II airplanes.
Okay. Yeah. Yep. I was into that for a while too. Yeah.
But I'll be honest with you. A lot of my friends made models, but I don't think it was to really make the models. I think it was
Okay.
to sniff the glue.
Oh,
You get real close and, oh,
you're
yeah.
talking about the early teeners. Yeah, early teens. Yeah, I get that. Yeah. I don't think I ever. No, I didn't sniff glue. No, I didn't do that.
Yeah.
No, but
Yeah.
no, there was so many things. I mean, just chores and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but um, it wasn't a chore in my house, but I could see in places it would be tuning a TV with the rabbit ears. Do you remember all the rabbit ears? Well, somebody had to do it. There was
Yeah.
no cable. Okay, there's no Wi-Fi or anything like that. And if you would have a fuzzy picture, somebody's going to have to get up and wrote. You know what? I remember doing it, but I don't remember it was as a chore. But I'm sure in some households it was a chore. So yeah.
Well, the other thing was, if by putting your hand on it was the only way you can get it clear, you had to stay there as a kid
Yep.
and
Yep.
watch your TV this way.
Yep. Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, gosh, now it's just we don't worry about any of that kind of stuff. You turn the TV on, it's crystal clear. You could sit down, at your chair, whatever it is, never have to move a muscle for hours. Okay, just your thumb. All you had to do is move your thumb right now, and you could see whatever the heck you want. I mean, talk about, that's how you get good at thumb wars. Okay, by having two remotes. Okay.
Well, thank goodness for aluminum foil.
Aluminum foil worked.
You put aluminum foil on the
I know.
rabbit ears.
Aluminum foil worked. Yep, it did. It did. Yeah.
Oh,
Now,
did you ever sort and roll coins?
a couple of weeks ago,
Oh, so you're still doing it.
we still do it. Yeah, we still do. In fact, we had the 5-gallon water jugs that go into the water coolers. We've over the time we have pretty much filled one up in the past. Okay, and we rolled that. Now I did get a machine once, a little machine is about this big, whatever it is, and we've been saving coins for a while now, and Jackie decided that she was going to get them rolled, and she asked me if I had that machine, and the machine is not working anymore, so we don't have a machine. So she sat down and she rolled up a bunch of stuff. We got more to do. So, but that's our story. The reality is most people these days aren't doing that. Okay. You're using machines.
You go to Coinstar.
You go to Coinstar. Yeah, but Coinstar takes a piece of it.
Yes, it does. 10%.
Yeah. So why would I give up 1%?
You know what? My time is worth something.
Oh, but hang on. If you sit down, because I rolled some stuff with her, so it's almost like a family thing. You got some good, whatever it is that whether you're a good drink or something noshing on, whatever it is, and you're rolling and you're talking and you're making jokes and laughing with each other, it can actually be a nice way to pass some time, believe it or not.
Well,
so not a chore for me.
I'll figure out another way to pass time. Well, the other thing was, if you remember, you used to take him to the bank. Right?
Yes.
You would cash him in. You're right, rolled. You take him into the bank, already rolled. Well, what ended up happening is they started making you put your name and address on it, because some people were putting slugs in it. They would do like the first 5 would be the coin, and the rest of the roll were slugs.
Yeah, Jackie just took like 270 some odd dollars in. Okay, I have to ask her if she had to sign anything on it. Yeah.
Well, you know what? It is such an uncommon place now that they probably thought, oh, it's this woman. She's the only one
really.
that does it.
Yeah, that's probably very true. But what was I going to say? I don't remember what I was going to say. No. So we actually still do that. However, okay, the amount of time it takes for us to accumulate the number of coins that we used to do in the past is totally different, because I do everything in my power not to get coins now. Okay, I try to avoid coins. And the nice thing about living in Oregon, there's no sales tax. Okay, so lots of times, prices are just even prices, and it's just nice and easy. So I don't get as many coins as I used to in the past. So, but now another chore that in some households was a big deal. Remember clothesbins and hanging clothes on a clothesline?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I remember that.
Yep. I remember it too. Yep, absolutely. And lots of times it fell to the kid to hang the clothes and take them down.
With me, it was taking them down because
Okay.
my mom had a certain way she wanted hung, so it would be nice and dry. My
Mhm.
job was to go out with the basket and take them down.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that was, but
Yeah. I
yeah.
had to get them out. You had to wait for this. It's, of course, there was a problem in the winter. Okay.
Mhm.
Doing it outside because of the rain and stuff like that. So, timing was everything in those days when it came
Well,
to that. There weren't dryers.
well, yeah, it's true. But there's garages.
There are garages. You'd have to
My
bring it
mom
inside.
had it all set up in the garage as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. But it's not, yeah, I get that part, but it's not like drying in the sun. Okay. I mean,
No.
no, it's not the same, but you had to do what you had to do. But
Yeah.
that, for a kid, that was a dreaded chore. That was a dreaded chore. So
Yeah.
now it's all different. It's different. Yeah.
Uh,
We
yeah.
actually just had to buy a new washer
Oh,
2 weeks ago.
mm,
We had the same one. Do you remember when we redid our kitchen in 2004? Okay. And you remember, and we have the big wine cabinet was in the kitchen.
oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
So that was the time. So, and that was where our washer and dryer were, and we moved them down the hall. Okay. And stacked them, and we brought those with us. Okay. We've had them all the way through 21 years. Okay. We had that washer, and it finally went, and they don't make them like they used to.
No.
Anyway, how did I get off on that one? Anyway, because the beats and the dryers. Okay, anyway,
Well,
okay.
you know what they call that?
What?
Plan obsolescence.
What? Oh, yeah, well, I'm not sure. In this case, it was they planned obsolescence now, and I'll tell you
Yeah.
why. I know we're talking about hanging laundry, and drying clothes and stuff like that, because the dryers are definitely different. They're great to have. Okay, but the washers now have so many bells and whistles. Okay, and digital stuff and stuff like that, and touch pads. That stuff goes wrong. We got as basic a machine as we could get, and we got a commercial Maytab. Okay, and we love it. We love it. None of the bells. We would have paid hundreds of dollars more, okay, for a washer if we wanted something with bells and whistles. So, in fact, Jackie's niece, who lives in Fresno, California, she we were out there, and she got these GEs that are really tall. Okay. And they've got bells and whistles. They've got all sorts of different things on them. And Jackie was there. She spent a couple of weeks there, and she loved it. She fell in love with them, and she wanted to get one. They're like 12, 13, $1,800. Not in my household. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. Nope. Give me a basic washer. Okay. And I don't need the bells and whistles. Anyway, we got off on a tangent, didn't I? I should say I got off on a tangent. Okay. What about cleaning chalkboards?
Oh,
and
yeah.
erasers?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like the teacher's pet because, I was the kid that always got picked on. So I got to go outside and do the erasers. Remember, you used to beat the erasers together.
No, I know that's what they did. I ended up not doing it.
No,
Yeah.
that was me.
I've erased boards before, and I've gotten erasers thrown at me by a teacher.
Yeah, but no. I was always a kid that they always felt sorry for. So
Okay. Okay.
so
All right. Whatever works. Whatever works.
yeah. But yeah, that was just before whiteboards and all
Yeah.
that stuff. I mean, you
Yeah.
really had and all that stuff was probably in my chest.
Oh, yeah.
Chalk
All the chalk
like,
dust.
waved
Yeah.
all that in.
Yeah. That's not good.
Oh.
Yeah. Now it's all the dry erasers, and
Yeah.
now it's so sophisticated with technology, for crying out loud. You do whiteboards on a computer.
That's absolutely right.
Right? I know, it's nuts. Okay. Now, one thing I kind of miss, okay, only because I don't know why I miss it, but because I think they still say the quality is better with regular film and not digital camera work. Because it used to mean, you have to take your roll of film down to a film store, a Photoshop, and they would take you wouldn't get it the same day. Okay. You'd probably have to come back probably a couple of days later to pick it up again. And of course you had to become, other than a Brownie or something like that, okay, or an Instamatic, which is just a no-brainer, you point and shoot, okay. But once they start getting the SLRs and the single lens, all those other ones where you had the f-stops and all the other things, and the light, and you had the aperture, all that kind of stuff, who knows what you were going to get, okay, as far as that's concerned. They could be blurry, overexposed, underexposed, and if you if they got exposed to light, you'd ruin the film. So from that regard, digital's a lot better. But I don't know if that's true or not. That some people still say film gives you better photos. Do you know about that?
No, I do not.
Okay. I just heard that.
But I will say this, I remember the photo mats.
Oh yeah, photo, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That was pretty interesting
Yeah.
back then. You know, I remember when we went on our 25th anniversary, went to Europe, and I took a ton of pictures. I mean, a ton with a camera. And you're right, it took a week before we got it back.
Right. And
many. I mean, there were so many, and it's like you're sitting on pins and needles, hoping everything's going to be okay.
right. And now, did you make them out into slides and do slideshows?
No.
Oh, because we used to do that too. We used to do that.
Yes.
We would take trips and make slides out of them, okay, and then put them in a slideshow, and you can have a whole slideshow. And yeah, absolutely. Yeah, those are the days. Okay, now you can take multiple shots with your camera, okay, and you could text it or email it to somebody, and they can get it's totally different. Totally different.
Yeah, you're not.
I'm telling you, it's kind of like with typewriters. Okay, now I remember typing on the old Royal typewriters. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, that's kind of what it sounded like. They're
Mm-hmm.
doing that now. And I remember the first electric typewriter that I got, okay, that had correction. Okay. It would go back up and do the correct and everything else, or you have to use the correct tape and everything else. So yeah, now it's totally different. Okay. Totally different.
Liquid paper.
Liquid paper, absolutely. You know, you have to change the ribbons and all of that stuff. Okay, and your fingers get red and black. Okay, from the so yeah.
And I would always tell the young kids too, because we were coming up, and I always say, you always know because everything was turning over to computers. You always knew who learned on a typewriter, because they'd be banging that keyboard like nobody's business.
Yep.
And they could turn over to their bosses. That's you. You bang this thing like it's, I said, that's because we learned on typewriters, and you have to really press hard
Right.
to make that, the manual typewriters.
Right. Right.
Before electric typewriters.
Right.
So you're just banging on those things. Man, what is this guy? He's beating this keyboard to death.
Yeah. You know, I'm just thinking now, because this is the one class that I never took that I just wish I had taken. Typing class. I never took a typing class, so I never learned how to type. And I wish I knew it now. I mean, I'm pretty good, hunt and pecker pretty fast, but I never learned to type. And I guess people would learn to type. What, did you learn typing? Did you have to go to a typing class in elementary school or anything?
I did
or
not.
Middle school? Oh, so you didn't either. Because I know in middle school in New York, there were typing classes, and I'm trying to think of, what did they type on? If it was regular type, it must have been regular typewriters.
Just regular typewriters.
Yeah, but they really learned how to type which finger, and so on and so forth. Okay, I never learned that, so I wish I did. Oh well.
Kathy and her sisters learned it that way.
Yeah,
learned it that way.
Yeah. Did you ever deliver newspapers?
I never did.
I did one time. A friend of mine went on vacation. I think I filled in for a week. Last time I ever did it.
Mm-hmm.
It did getting up way too early. Okay, to do that, to go fetch him on my bike and ride around the neighborhood. One time, one stretch, that was it. But a lot of kids did it. I mean, that was a big deal, and they'd take their bikes or however they did it, or someone would drive them and they're chucking them out the window, trying to get them on the driveway and so on and so forth. So yeah.
In our time, it was us on bikes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's what it was then. Yeah.
Dad is not getting up to take you to your destinations to deliver your paper.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it was different. That was a chore. But it wasn't, well, it wasn't really a chore. It was a way of making money. It was, and it was actually a good thing for a kid to do, to learn about work, a job is something they could do. Okay. It wasn't hard. You didn't have, your skill was to ride a bike and toss a newspaper. So it was a good way to get somebody into it. So, but getting up that time of day wasn't for me. But one thing that I liked, which I don't think anybody under the age of maybe even 40, okay, knows how to shine a shoe and polish a shoe. Okay. Now I don't know about you, but I got a kick out of polishing shoes. I don't know what it was about it. I had my shoe kit, okay, with you put your shoe on it, okay, and it was a wooden kit. And I would open up. I'd have my polish. I got my liquid polish and my brushes and my the rags, the polishing cloths and everything else. I love that. Okay, I don't kids don't know how to do that now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Did you make money out of that?
No. No, I just like to do my shoes. My shoes. I did other shoes in the house.
Oh no, okay. No, I had friends who did that.
Yeah,
they would take their shoe shining kit,
mm-hmm.
and they just go in the corner and hey, you want to shine, Mister?
You know what? I should have done that.
Nice, and the people would be nice and say sure, So they would polish the shoes for a dime, and away you went.
Yeah. In fact, I probably wouldn't admit this, but I shouldn't admit this, but I will. So, working, in Benicia, doing what I was doing, in the mortgage industry and so on and so forth. And you may remember in the first 20 years, probably of my career, I was in a jacket and tie every day. Okay. It was only in the later years that I got a little more casual. Maybe I wouldn't wear a tie. And so, it was an image thing that it was a banker. Okay. And so I needed to have polished shoes. So I would either do it myself, or if I went to Nordstrom, okay, in Walnut Creek, okay, they have a shoe shine stand. So every once in a while I'd go down there with a few pair of shoes, okay, and splurge. Okay. It wasn't that expensive, but I'd splurge on getting it done. So I don't know what it is about it, but now I don't care. I could care less now. Okay. But I wear tennis shoes, so who cares?
My mom was big on polished shoes.
Okay.
She was very, very big on it. And she always made me polish not only the fronts, but the back.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, because she used to say you need to be a gentleman coming, and you need to be a gentleman going.
Yeah, and you had to do the black around the sole. I mean, all that kind of, absolutely, man. There's definitely a technique, okay, to doing that. Yeah, so that was good. Yeah,
and you're right about wearing ties too. I mean, we even when I was working retail, on the floor they made us wear a tie.
Mm-hmm. And a jacket or just a tie?
Just a tie.
Okay.
Just a tie, a white either short sleeve or long sleeve shirt.
Mm-hmm.
And then one day we got a memo, and it had to be a brown tie. That was the store colors. It was brown tie. Was two guys. Got a memo one time and said that security will now start handing out clip-on ties.
Oh.
And I said, oh, okay. And I went down to security to pick it up, and I said, hey, what's going on with the clip-on ties?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we had an incident in our Bixby Knowles store. I said, what happened? He says, well, this customer came in with a weed whacker, one of our cheap $10 weed whackers, right? And he beat it all to heck, and he wanted a new one. And we told him no. The manager told him no. We promptly got him by the tie, held him down, and beat him with the weed whacker.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So they figured a clip-on tie would have allowed this guy to get away.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how we got the clip-on ties there. And then eventually the ties went away. But I mean, those ties all the way up to, oh my goodness, must have been near the 80s, on retail on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
It was so funny. One time this company of mine used to rent out Disneyland, or it was a very big company. And I used to be assistant store manager. And so you get to invite your family and you pay for the tickets. Tickets were real cheap. So we had not only my family, but Kathy's family as well. And so we're waiting to get on this ride, right? And we are taking up almost this whole row to get on the ride. And then the store that I worked at, here comes the employees, and they're going, oh, hello, Mr. Ariza. Hello, Mr. Ariza. And they all turn. Mr. Ariza, who is this guy? You're just Joe. But you're
funny.
Right. It was very different back then.
Yeah, it was there. That definitely very
about
different.
It last time was about yes, ma'am, yes, and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
very, very interesting back then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was it.
Yeah.
Oh, did you ever sharpen a pencil with a manual sharpener? Remember those?
I remember them. I remember them doing it all the time. We had to do it, and if you did it too much, it would break, and you have to continue to do it again. Okay, and yeah, good old number two pencils.
Yeah.
They were the thing.
Yeah, you were absolutely right.
I
We
know
had
number
to
twos.
crank them babies.
Yep, yep. Yeah,
I remember I had kids that they would just sharpen it just to see how much they can sharpen it down.
sure.
They would start with a full pencil and end up with a pencil about that big.
That's right. A little stubby, a little stubby. Yep, absolutely. It's interesting though because they got the crank ones, and now they have the electric ones. But I just used one of those just when my granddaughter was here, 7-year-old here, using on color pencils.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
it's still around, but in
Yeah.
an office environment,
Yeah,
as an
yeah.
example, you won't see those. Okay, they'd be automatic, probably
Mhm.
automatic, or at the very minimum, it'll be a crank one.
Yeah,
Or
or
lots of times it's a mechanical pencil.
mechanical pencils,
Right.
usually what they use these days.
Yeah.
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 How about the TV manual, huh? Like,
Oh,
you know,
oh yeah. I mean, to change channels?
yeah,
Yeah, up and
we
down,
had to
up
do
and
that
down.
manually.
Yeah, up and down. Can you imagine? Okay, this is it. Can you imagine a poor kid? Okay, who's got parents that are couch potatoes? Okay, and they have rabbit ears. Okay, and there's no remote. Okay, the kid's going to get his exercise. If
Yeah,
they watch a lot of TV and the different shows, up and down to change the channel, up and down to change the antenna, up and down. Yeah, okay, that was the old days. Again, as I was saying now, okay, you get with Wi-Fi, okay, and streaming, okay, you could sit with just your thumb, okay, and have not worry about reception, not worry about antennas. I mean, technology is way different. Absolutely.
absolutely. Or taping the technology. How about dialing a rotary phone?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. This is going to sound old, but I kind of miss it in a ways. Okay. Because it was, yeah, all the numbers like that. I mean, kind of sort of sounded like that. Okay. But it was cumbersome. And if you misdialed, okay, you had to hang up, the thing on the top, and you push down the, whatever they call it. And you have to do it again. Okay. So, think about dialing 10 numbers. Okay. Going through that, which is now you do it, on your phone, if you're a good, one texter like that, you could do it pretty quick, but now you don't even have to do that. Hey, Siri, call so-and-so. Okay. So, yeah, but, they still keep rotary phones around because they need them for movies.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. There's
Right.
nothing better than seeing the phone ring, not seeing the phone ring, right? And it's a rotary phone. Hello. I mean, John Wick uses that all the time.
Okay. So I don't know if you know what just happened. Okay. But, oh my God, I said, hey, Siri,
Mhm.
Siri just made a phone call. Okay. Wow. That was, I didn't think about that, but, woo.
Well,
Okay.
when it comes to rotary phones, I'll tell you what phone number is never busy.
Oh, time.
No,
Operator.
no, when you dial the wrong phone number.
Oh,
You dial a friend, it's always busy, but you dial the wrong number, it's never busy.
yeah. Yeah.
Hello? Oh, I'm sorry, the wrong number. It's
Yeah.
like it's like what we talked about last week. What mail never gets lost? Junk mail.
Junk mail. Yeah,
Junk
absolutely.
mail will
I know that.
always find your mailbox.
Yeah. I'm thinking back to when I was probably 7 or 8 years old doing stupid stuff with a rotary phone, calling up somebody, looking in the phone book for, say, Lincoln, and dialing the phone number. Somebody answer, oh, is this Mr. Lincoln? Is this Mr. Abe Lincoln? Okay. Don't ask me why we did silly stuff like that. But anyway, it had nothing to do with the rotary phone. I could have done it with a regular phone now. But yeah, it was, of course, we had, and you remember, we've talked about this in the past too, party lines. So you had a rotary phone and a party line where other
Mhm.
people can listen in. Kids have these days, they have no idea. The technology in school has just gone crazy. Now, I don't know. I don't remember me doing this, but did you iron clothes before school?
Absolutely.
You did?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. My mom made sure that I not only polished the shoes, but I learned how to iron my clothes.
Okay. Oh, you polish your shoes too.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I did everything. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe my mom thought I wouldn't find a woman kind of like Sheldon on The Big Bang. You know? So I learned how to cook. I learned how to wash clothes. I learned how to hang them. I learned how everything. I learned how to iron. I did everything.
Well, she was setting you up to be independent. Good for her.
I think that was it. But then again, you know what? I was quite a catch. That's what
Just
it was.
ask Kathy, right?
Yeah, you're the lucky one. You got the one that does everything.
Yeah. Yeah, but I know, but I have experience ironing, to say the least. And uh trying to remember not to burn the clothes. Okay. And it would stink
Yeah.
terrible if you did. And then you had to spray if you had a spray iron. Okay, just to get some water, or before spray irons, you had a spray bottle. Okay, to try to do that. Yeah. So, yep, all that kind of stuff.
Spray bottle, baby.
Yeah, and I don't think I remember the early irons having different settings.
Um,
I don't remember.
I think they did.
Maybe.
I think they
Okay.
did. I think they
Yeah,
did.
I
At least
don't
the ones that I used did.
Yeah. Okay.
But they were
Okay.
kind of funky looking, you know?
Right. Now here's another chore that I didn't have to worry about. Replenishing the wood for a coal in the stove.
Mhm,
Did you have
mhm.
to do that?
I did not. I knew friends that did, but you know what we had to help the dad with is burning the garbage.
Oh, we didn't do that.
We did that out here, it was just little. We actually had little, they looked like little pyramids type of thing, and you
Sure.
put the garbage in, and you burn your garbage before they were garbage men.
Yeah. Interesting. We're talking about this. I'm trying to remember in Jersey, because I know in New York they had garbage. They had garbage pickup. I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure we had garbage pickup where we were. I don't remember taking garbage anywhere or burning anything like that. So,
This was in the
but
backyard. This was in our
no,
backyard.
I understand what you're saying. Yeah, yeah. No, of course, in the house in Jersey, we had oil heat. So you had a
Mm.
big tank in the basement, had oil heat. So, periodically the truck would come and fill it up. So we didn't have to worry about that. So, but if you had wood heat or coal heat and stove, stuff like that, somebody had to get the wood. Somebody
Yeah.
had to call. And
Mm.
by all means, if there was a kid in that house, that kid had a chore. Yeah.
Hey, did you have to memorize? How about memorizing your home phone number?
Well, yes, I knew my phone number then. Don't ask me now. It
Oh,
was only
you did.
5 digits.
I could. Well, okay, yeah. I remember mine, the when it got to what was it, 7 digits? Yeah, 2239341,
Mhm.
213 area code.
Okay.
I don't remember
Okay.
much. I can't remember what I had for breakfast, but
Well, we didn't
remember,
have area codes. I mean, the numbers that I had, there was like, swear it was only 5 digits. There was
yeah,
no area codes. That was with a party line too. That was
yeah,
back in, that
right,
was in 53, 4, 5 and around there.
right. I don't remember. I do not remember those. I remember when we finally moved, and it was in O'Sullivan Drive. I think it was 60, maybe 63, 64.
Right.
That was a phone number.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
213-223-9341.
Yeah. Back then, okay, I had a really good head for remembering numbers. So I would remember phone numbers. I was really good at remembering dates, of stuff to do in the future, stuff like who needed a calendar. Okay. Now, totally different story. I got all the phone numbers in my phone, okay, with addresses and email accounts, okay, and I have to use my calendar all the time because if I didn't, I'd forget I had a podcast. So, definitely have to use it. So, yeah, somebody had to memorize phone numbers back then. Or here's the other one. Okay, and I know we've talked about this in the past also, but if you're driving, want to get anywhere back then, you had those big fold out maps. Okay. And, if you're going different places, you have multiple maps. Now we're talking these things folded out to probably 24 by 24. Okay.
Mhm,
At least.
mhm.
Okay. Like that. And you'd have to fold them and then you have to fold them and fold them. And, you want a particular area, so you have to fold it away so you could hold it maybe. okay, without having the whole thing laid out in the car. Okay, so that was way before GPS. And then, of course, and I know you did this, the Thomas Brothers maps. Okay, now that was like sliced bread. Okay, okay, in the map world, because you had all these maps and you could just flip the page and it was indexed and everything else. So that was great. Okay, and then of course they got GPS, and that's just, what else can you, what's next?
Yeah. Yeah. You know, when I was a buyer, that was our number one selling books were the Thomas guides.
I believe it.
Yeah. And then GPS came. And I remember it was back in the 50s. I think it was in the 50s that they came with their own GPS.
Huh.
Okay. And what it was a screen, right? You got a screen. And it was like one of those Viewmasters, the little, and you'd put it in there and you just, you would change the map as you were going.
Right.
It was like in a Viewmaster on a little screen, and it hooked up on your dashboard.
Yep.
So that was the original GPS.
That was the original GPS.
Yeah.
No, I know.
That was interesting. But yeah, and I tell you what, if you're a kid and you could fold that map, you were the navigator. If you knew how to fold that map back exactly the way it was, you were then the navigator. You got to sit in the front seat.
Yep. 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 Absolutely. Yeah. Those are the days. The GPS just makes it so easy, and you get so reliant on it now. I mean, just really so reliant. I mean, I could still read a map and do all that kind of stuff, but it's just second nature now to just, if you're going to go someplace, put it in Google Maps or whatever and set it up. It tells you when to turn, da 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 da. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, your glove box was full of these maps.
It was full of them, absolutely. And of course, I remember this, and you remember this, but kids these days have no idea how to roll down a car window.
I'm going to tell you this right now. When I first got my truck, my truck's pretty bare bones when I got it.
Yeah.
And it was my hobby, and I fixed it up,
Sure.
But the first time the kids got in it, right, they go, how do you roll down the window? I said, right over there. It says, you have to crank. It's not a button. You have to crank it. Oh, just like, how can you be a caveman?
Yeah.
This is what I tell them. I just do not like new cars. I like old cars because there's a lot less stuff that can go wrong.
Yep. Without the computers and all. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I remember I had bought Kathy. We still have it. 2018, what is it? Edge, Ford Edge.
Okay.
Got it brand new, got it a great price on it,
Mm-hmm.
And so I got into and then my old company called me back to do a job. So I said, okay, I can work for a couple of weeks and, come out of retirement, work a couple of weeks. So this one guy says, hey, you know what? Because I walked. The hotel was a couple of blocks away, and I like to walk. So I walked there. And the guy says, hey, can I give you a ride this time? And I said, yeah, you know what? I really worked hard today. I'm kind of tired. It's late. Right. So I get in this car. He's got an Edge, the same like my wife, except it's a new one. And I'm telling you, the screen on that dude, I said, how in the world can you pay attention to the road? This thing's so big. Kathy's is like this big. This thing was like, I'm going like in the Teslas.
Yeah, I know. The Tesla's huge.
I would be focused on that, not on the road.
Yeah, to me, it's a distraction.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I'm a bare bones kind of guy. Yeah. I just like old cars. Give me a crank. That's it.
Well, I didn't mind. I mean, Jackie's when her old Corolla, Camry had a nav in it, but it wasn't. It's like this big, okay, and it was down here, so it was below. But the Teslas, I mean, they pop up right here. Okay, I've never been in a Tesla, but in looking in them, okay, that's what it appears to be to me. So yeah, that's very distracting. But I'm trying to think of, there was no computers back then. I'm trying to think of what else. Well, the mechanical windows, if I recall correctly, back then, and why this came up is because my nephew's here. He's learning to drive, and guess who's teaching him to drive? let me tell you, it's an experience. Anyway, so I was showing him around the car different things. This is this is that. This is how you open the gas tank because it's not on the outside. Got to push a button on the inside. Okay. And to pop the hood. And I started thinking about, if I recall correctly, on our 442s, there was not an inside. It was just under the hood. There was a manual under the hood.
That is
So
correct.
nothing in there. You did under the hood. Okay. And to open the trunk, you had to put a key in. Okay.
That is correct.
Or there's a button back there. So, I mean, even just stuff like simple things like that were different
Mhm.
with the technology. So, yeah, things have changed. And you know what's going to be interesting? In the next 25, 50 years, the technology now than what we have now.
Mhm.
I was just reading, some Japanese scientists just made the fastest internet speed. It was like 125,000 gigs per second
Whoa.
over 1,100 miles. Right?
Whoa. Yeah.
That's like light speed. It isn't, but makes you think it is. So anyway,
Yeah. You know what? The things are just, to me, are always getting better. Yeah, I know this is nostalgia and we miss some of this stuff and this is what we grew up with, but we're sounding like our parents now. When I was a kid,
yeah. Well,
I had to roll up my own windows.
yeah. Okay, I agree with you. We're sounding like we're whatever old and so on, and some stuff definitely is better, but some stuff I think has made our lives more complicated,
Mhm.
like
Sure.
pagers and cell phones and
Mhm.
stuff like that. I mean, everyone is so overly connected. Okay, that it makes life more complicated. I think, not
Yeah.
simple.
I
Some
think
things.
I agree with you. I think it does if you take it serious.
Well, yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, you know me. How long have you known me? I don't take anything serious.
Well, it's probably you take a couple things seriously, but mostly not. Okay.
Yeah, I don't take anything serious.
Okay.
Everybody gets all excited and
Yeah.
why are you excited? It's
Yeah.
just no skin off my nose.
Uh,
Just, ah.
yeah. No,
You know,
some of the stuff is pretty cool. I
yeah.
mean,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Well, like
I
for
mean,
instance, we talk about sports teams, talking about
right,
series. Right?
right. That's it. Now you're serious.
I'm a big Dodger fan.
I've
That.
noticed. Yes.
But my life does not revolve around them.
Right. I
In other
understand.
words, it's like, they lose and I say, okay, they lost. My point is, I don't own stock in the Dodgers.
Right. Right.
I
Right.
don't, I'm not part owner. I'm nothing. I'm not getting anything from them. So if they lose, okay, they lost.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's just like some of these people are in, especially when we talk, you and I talk about this, and especially politics. Why do people get so excited about politics?
Yeah, they really do. It's amazing. Well, that and religion too. I mean, the couple
Well,
things you're not supposed
I
to talk about at work.
was going to say,
Okay, people get really excited about those things.
yeah.
Politics for sure.
Politics is the new religion.
Right. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. In a lot of ways, it is, and it's and it's no wonder there's a breakdown, and no wonder that the country is divided the way it is, because people don't talk. They either yell at each other, they don't listen. Okay, they jump in. They don't respect that somebody else can have a different opinion and ask for different information or clarifying questions and just talk and have a conversation. They get so invested in their belief,
Mhm.
okay, that's the only belief that there is, and this is the way it is.
Well,
So,
well,
and it's
you know,
unfortunate.
you know what? If there is a civil war, remember this: always go with the side that believes in the right to bear arms.
Yeah, that's a very good. That is very good. That is a truism.
See,
That is,
I don't take anything serious.
yeah.
I have a friend who's afraid we're going to go into civil war, and I said, "Are you kidding me?" I said, "We've taken jungle gyms out of schools because we're afraid kids are going to get hurt. How tough can we be?"
Well, yeah. Okay.
All right.
Anyway,
Well, we got off onto a tangent, Professor. We're running a little long. What do you say we end this one, buddy?
I think that's a good idea. Let's do it because we have more coming up later.
Okay. Have a
See you
great one,
next
my
week. You bet. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
We'd like to thank you for listening and and remind you, if you happen to have any baby boomer topics you'd like us to cover, just email us at growingupboomer@gmail.com. And until next time, may God bless.